So I found a mistake in my pattern. The brioche rib section is supposed to start and end with a purl stitch, so you have this distinct line between the honeycomb and the brioche rib, and I dropped a stitch right early on and picked it back up, and instead of keeping it in the honeycomb brioche, I added it to my rib section. So I'm taking all the stitches out right now, and then I'm going to re-knit that to make that pattern look proper again. This is an unplanned tutorial. I just found this mistake earlier today, and I really don't fancy frogging this whole area. I've been working on this 2 rows, 4 rows at a time over the last 1.5 weeks since I've been dealing with some wrist pain. And it still amounts to several hours of work that I don't want to undo, and I think it's much easier to just go down 54 rows of 1 stitch rather than taking out tens of thousands of stitches. And I think this is what usually leads to abandoned projects if your only option is to just frog the whole thing and then facing having to reknit that whole fabric. If you unpick your stitches going down to where your mistake is, because it happened for me, I actually dropped stitch here, picked it back up, and then forgot or overlooked that it is the wrong section I put it in, as I mentioned before. Be careful not to pull your threads too much, because this will block out. You are going to pinch a little bit here and on this side while you reknit that, and that will block out. But if you actually pull too much, there's only so much your blocking will do. So yeah, be gentle with your fabric. All right, we are almost there. Some of it is actually a little bit felted due to me handling the yarn, but there we go. We've got to the last row. That was after my pickup stitches. Now this stitch, as I mentioned, we've got the last purl stitch here that belongs to the rib section, and then this stitch this column that I unraveled belongs into the honeycomb. The last stitches, or the following stitches of this, we've got a purl stitch and then the yarn over stitch here. So actually over here we have the first row with a yarn over that we start off of. Now let me unpick one more row. All right, there we go. If you want to make sure you don't lose that stitch all the way down, grab yourself a stitch marker, plug that in there. In my case, it's unlikely that anything more is going to happen. You saw that it's 100% wool, and it's a bit rough on the surface, so it's going to keep its shape, which actually makes it easier to repair. So let's get started. I've moved in a bit closer. Let's have a look. I've unraveled all the way down to the second setup row for the honeycomb brioche. We have the two stitches knit together from the decrease row, and then the first setup row is actually this yarn over here, this thread, because we have the last stitch from the rib section is a knit one, that coming out here, and you slip this stitch with a yarn over, and then you knit one and slip the yarn over with the yarn in the back. So this yarn over, and this is the stitch after this setup row. This is what I would have on my needle, where we should actually be. Now we are starting our repeat and the actual repair. We are on the row 1, wrong side row. We are coming from the brioche pattern. It's a brioche knit, so on the right side we are not going to turn back and forth, we are just repairing on this side. We're coming from this purl bump, and it is actually this thread here. I hope you can see that. Coming through here, that's the thread we are working with. And since we are doing a brioche knit on the wrong side, on this side of the garment, we are actually going to put that to the front because we are working a purl stitch. Then I'm using my crochet hook, getting through that yarn over and the stitch, picking up the thread, pulling that through so that I have my brioche knit stitch showing up as a brioche purl at the front. And I'm going to take out my marker and place that into the stitch that I'm now working. Next up is row 1 on the right side, and we are working just a simple knit 1 after our brioche, and we are coming from a yarn over on this column. So let's see which of these threads this actually is. The yarn over, this one is the knit stitch that's going through, and this one is the yarn over we are looking for. So be careful to use that underneath, and then use your crochet hook, go into that stitch again, knit 1. I'm going to pull my stitch marker into my newly created stitch. See there, it's coming through down here, right? This is on the wrong side row, row 2, so the third row in the repeat. We are coming from a brioche knit again in the rib column, and since before we've worked this stitch, we are going to slip this stitch this time. So our stitch is simply going to get a yarn over, right? It's a slip 1 yarn over. So we pick that up. We have our 2 threads on the needle again. And then on row 4, that is row 2 on the right side, we are working a knit 1 slip on yarn over with the yarn in the back, and we are coming from a slip on yarn over again. So that was the previous thread that we used, and then this one is the yarn over from that stitch coming through here. That is the one that we are going to use. And we are going to insert our crochet hook and knit this stitch and pick up our yarn over, because we are not actually dropping that, we are slipping the yarn over with the yarn in the back, right? So we still have 2 threads on our needle after that row, and that is the repair for our first repeat. We are going back to the wrong side, row 1, a brioche knit that is coming from a brioche knit stitch here, because we've just used the yarn over thread coming through here, right? And this one is the next one we use, because that is the brioche knit thread that we used. And we are going to put that to the front again, because our repair is only on the front side. And we are working what is named as the brioche knit in the pattern as a brioche purl stitch, because we work on the front. So, and now we only have one thread left, working these two together, going back row 2 in the repeat on the right side, coming from a slip-on yarn over on this column, so it is this thread here, going over that purl bump. So we put this one up, because this is the one that we are going to work with. And once again, it is a knit one. So hold on to our stitch, take our crochet hook, go into the stitch that we just worked, and pull the yarn through. Take out the marker, put it into that stitch. Row 3 of the repeat. So we've just used the yarn over thread. So the next one is the brioche knit, this one, coming through here. And since we've just worked a brioche purl beforehand, this one we are just slipping this thread. So we are picking up this one and our stitch. I apologize for the noise. We've got 5 different construction sites nearby, and if I waited until all of these are gone, we would make this video sometime next year. All right, so 4th row, row 2, right side. We are coming from a slip-on yarn over. So it is this thread that we are going with, and we are working this stitch, knit 1, picking up our thread, pulling it through. So that is the knit 1 part, and then picking up our yarn over, because we slip the yarn over with the yarn in the back. That is 2 repeats repaired. Still doesn't look very pretty, but we are getting there.